And we are live. Good evening, everybody. I am Tawana Blassingham, CEO and editor in chief of Queen Size Magazine. Tonight, I have the absolute honor of chatting with our March 2025 cover model, Sherita Ivory. You guys know Sherita. If you don't know Sherita, you are going to get to know her tonight. Make sure you check out her feature, queensizemagazine.com. We dug all up into her business this month and shared it with our readers. So go on over there and read all about Sharita and all of the amazing things that she has done in and out of the industry. I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself because nobody can introduce you like you. Well, that's not true. You never seen heard me introduce somebody, but we'll let her introduce herself anyway. Sharita,
Yes. Hi.
hi. Tell the people who Sharita is and a little bit
Hi.
about what you do.
Love it. Love it. That was great intro, little prerequisite, right? Right. Hello everyone. My name is Sharita Ivory, and it is a name that I adore. No middle name, but y'all didn't know that. That's a
No
little
middle
tad.
name.
No middle name, Sharita Ivory, like share. You
Well,
know.
you don't need
Anyway,
one.
no, don't need it. That parents didn't think so, but but yes, I am Street Ivory, and I am a model. I'm not only a plus model, but I am a model. We'll dig more into that later because we try to make a differentiation between the two. But I am a model. I am a talented young lady. I like to use all the gifts and talents that I have as possible in the different things that I do, the different places I go, the people I meet, and try to find a way to intertwine those things just so that my gifts are being used, my talents are being used. I work with children, which is something near and dear to my heart. I was able to incorporate runway into that. I love to read, I love to write, I love to swim. I like to take long walks on the beach at night. I like to
So
do all
funny.
the things. Yeah, right. I'm very adventurous, so I love to meet people, speak to people. Even in the article I mentioned, I am a introvert, like a internal introvert, but extrovert is weird. It's a weird thing. But I love what I do. I love this moment that we're in. I've learned how to live in moments and
Mhm.
just enjoy the path that I'm walking on. So in a nutshell, that is me. I am she.
So, uh, do you really like long walks on the beach?
No, for real. I'm a water baby, like legit. So I am an Aquarius. I got a
Mm,
birthday. So
okay.
I'm an Aquarius. Oh,
Mm.
yeah, well, yeah. Sorry, no, but
No,
yes,
I didn't mean
I just
any shade
no,
by
I
it.
was
I just equated the
just
whole
sorry.
water with the aquarium. I
Water
got
baby. Right, right. Being that it's an air sign, go, but water bearer, bringing life, it's a whole thing. But I absolutely love the water. So yes, long walks on the beach, absolutely. That's like one of my peace places that I
it.
like to go. Is just to be by the water, sit, listen, eyes closed, smelling the air, everything. Oh, I had my eyes closed. I went there for a minute. You see that? I kind of left y'all like that. But yeah,
You went there for
water.
a moment.
You saw me. I was like,
You went
come
there.
back, come on back. But I love pools, everything, all bodies of water. So yes, that is a true statement. That is a true statement.
So I asked that because, like when I do my intro and I get past the professional and stuff like that, I usually end it with a joke, like I like long walks on the beach, but I really don't.
Oh,
Really
oh,
don't. Really don't. Don't.
is it the
I don't
sand
like
thing?
the beach.
The sand thing? Is it the sand thing? Some people just don't like the
It's
sand and the beach.
it's the sand,
Yeah.
it's the water, it's the
Oh,
beach.
the
I
thing,
don't
it's
like
all
it.
of it.
Like open
Oh,
sun. I don't like it. I don't like the beach. I'm
really?
not a beach girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not.
It's all right. It's all right. We're going. My dream is to like get to a new beach.
Okay.
Random.
All
Sorry.
right. Very
You know why?
random.
Can I tell you why though? Can I tell you why?
Do tell. Do
Because
tell.
listen, okay, so I run outside when the weather's nice. I like to run, and I usually have a tank on, right, or a sports bra, right. And guess what? I get tan lines. Don't like 'em. Especially as a model when you're wearing certain. I'm like five different colors. by the
Okay.
time the summer begins and ends. So that's one of the main reasons why I want to go, just so I can be all one color.
Okay. So Sharita
Random.
wants to go to a nude beach. I mean, whatever, for whatever reason, good.
Right?
Go ahead. No judgment here at all.
You're
But I'm
learning a
I'm
lot
glad
tonight.
you cleared up the why because I'm like, okay,
Yeah, literally just to be in the sun. And that's the warmth on my body. It's, yeah, it's tea.
okay. All right, no
Random.
problem. And so first of all, before we dig in to our questions or our conversations for the night, just hello everybody who has joined us. Thank you for tuning in. I do recognize time is, very precious. One thing that you never get back. So I thank you for spending your time with us tonight. But let's just go ahead and just dig right into the questions, okay? And
Yeah.
since we were talking about modeling, we're going to take it from the top. First
Mhm.
question for you is the how and the why. How did you get into this modeling? Like, and why? The why.
Yeah, so that's loaded. So when I was a little girl, I always have been into fashion. Like it starts there. It starts in the clothes because I am naturally creative. So the ideas and inspiration, like it's just a natural thing that comes to me. So the fashion part is where it started. And then I just remember seeing magazines, watching television, and I'm like, oh wow, I can do that. And I just had a draw to it. Nobody in my family had done it. What I found out much later, like in my adulthood, my mother, when she was younger, she wanted to do modeling. I never knew that at that
Mm,
age, but she wanted to model. But my mom she's like kind of shy. So I think she didn't go forward with it. But isn't that funny? Her daughter is like, oh, she did, she didn't do it, but I'm like, let's go. But I remember just looking in those magazines, seeing those fashions, and I'm like, I want to create too, because I get design ideas as well. So what I started doing was going to conferences. They used to have like conventions and conferences. It was more like talent based, meaning you could be an actor, a singer, a dancer, a model. Like it was like so many things. And I would just go by myself and just kind of started absorbing the industry and just seeing like the different elements and the different parts of it. And it just intrigued me and it excited me. And I felt like, wow, this is something I can do. So that's where the start of it came. And then as I started getting more into it, I didn't know about runway yet, like the
mm-hmm,
significance of runway yet. But I in 2005, I got my first runway gig. So that was like, oh, runway. Oh, my life. Like runway is life to me. Like I just loved it. And again, I'm kind of shy. I'm extroverted. Like I'm talking now and doing all, and I see people and stuff. But I do have a shyness to me. So back then, it was more like they had training sessions, and they taught me how to walk, how to stand, how to pose, posture, and all those kinds of things, which was vital, obviously, to my foundation in runway. And just took it from there because what happens is you learn what you learn, but then you start developing into who you are in that area. So that's what started happening with me. I started to change and develop. There's some things you keep, there's some things you take away, and you just keep learning along the way. So why started to become I'm a plus size girl. I didn't know that terminology then, full figured. I just wanted to model. I
mm-hmm,
didn't know about all, there's categories and stuff. I'm like, I just wanted to model, and it's not even a vanity thing for me, especially back then with insecurities. I just knew I had a draw to it and I just had to go for
mm,
it. And so keep moving forward. And it's like you try to find yourself where you fit in. Then it was like I started seeing people that would come to these different shows. They would come up to me after. A lot of times I was the only plus size model, or one of the few. And they would come up to me and be like, wow, you really did your thing. And again, I'm still new to it. So I'm like, hey, try it. I think I did my best. But but they started seeing themselves in me. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when it became a deeper meaning to it. Then on top of that, I have a niece. I have one niece,
I
and
have one niece as well.
yeah, I have one niece. That's my baby girl, and she's built like her auntie. Like I don't have no skinny pictures. Like I told this story like time and time again. If you look at my baby pictures, there's no skinny. I'm always been a little thickums. Always, always been a little chunks. You know, and I learned how to accept myself in that body. And it took some time. It took some time. Let's be real. It took some time to get there, but I
I get
learned
it.
to accept myself. Then my niece came along. Then it was like, oh, okay, niece, I'm doing this modeling thing. She's watching me. If don't nobody else in the world, my niece is watching.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to be comfortable in her skin. I'm tall, always been tall, taller than my teacher, taller than the boys. hated hated it, but I always been tall and thick, and so it was like, who's my representation? Who can I look up to for that? At that time, I didn't really have that. I didn't even know to look for it. Again, I just had this passion inside of me, and it was something like, this is it.
Right,
Go
right,
for
right.
it.
So you have, and I think every time I see you, I say this to you. You have a very unique style to you. Very unique.
Oh,
Now, you know who you remind me of? A female version of you. Know, do you know God, Andre Ramon?
what does that name sound familiar from?
He was at the fires. He was at the fires the last 2 years.
Name sound familiar.
He is a model. I'm gonna have to show you his picture because you remind
I'll
me
be
a
familiar.
lot style wise. You remind me a lot of Andre Ramon. Next year at the fires,
Okay, this
you come
year,
this year. Sorry, it is 2025, November 1st.
2025.
This year at the fires.
Okay.
I want a picture of both of y'all on the runway on the um red carpet together, right?
Bet. Okay.
Because he has a very unique style and just
Okay.
amazing. It's like when you come out, it's sometimes I look at you and I be like, yo, what made her put that together? But it just looks so amazing. And so
Me
I
too.
ask you, I'll ask you this question. Who would you say are your biggest fashion icons or inspiration and how have they influenced your style?
So that question, even you asking it, like I can't even, I can't even hone in on like one or two people. And as weird as that sounds, it's hard to because again, I'm a creative, so I get inspiration It's like everywhere. It comes in from every which way, and
Mm,
so again, like when we talk about fashion, fashion is the fashion. You put it on, right? The style is how you wear it, you
right.
know? And so for me, my style just I just feel it. I see it. I knew what I was wearing today. I knew how I was gonna do my hair. I knew this little bit, it's like I'll see a picture. I'll get a picture from head to toe. You know, my inspiration for the fires this past year was 1950s woman. Like I love that era of fashion. I love that era of womanhood, femininity. I love that era. So it's hard for me to hone in on in particular individuals that are my fashion icons. So I will say whatever fashion icons you see or you can think of, I probably pulled something from there because our mind is like stimulus, right? It takes
Hmm.
pictures and it's just in there. And then at some point it comes together. So I think that's just what it is. So having the passion and loving the fashion, it comes to me and I wear it.
I
I'm not
love that.
afraid. I had to become unafraid. A lot of things, Tawana, sometimes we can question ourselves. Like, should I wear that? And I've done it.
All the
I've done it. I'm
time.
like, "Ooh, that's a little. Listen. So at some point, it was just like, you know what? I'm feeling this, and this is how I'm feeling. Might not look like anybody else in the room, and I learned
Hmm.
that's a superpower.
So, designing, have you ever considered designing?
Yes, my mom will tell you that. Yes, I have. The end. So let me tell you something as far as like, yes, on a grander scale, absolutely. Absolutely. Years ago, because there are certain elements, everybody has their vision, right? We all have a vision of something. So
Mm-hmm.
just as close as in a designer's mind, I can see it a certain way and how it would work on my body and how it would work on her body or his body. It's just I see it a certain way. So absolutely, I have. And I guess I've been dabbling in it a little bit because these designers that I collaborate with, like say if I need something like for the fires, I keep bringing up the fires November 1st, y'all.
November
So
1st.
close. So even for that look, like that was my brainstorm. And the designer, she sketched it. And I was like, okay, I have this and like that. And it was a classic style, but there was little elements on it, you know. And then there's other designers that I've worked with in the past. And I'm like, this is what I see. Can you do it like this? And this. And then they have the knowledge to say, oh, that won't work because the course fit might not connect with us, him. And, you know, they have that knowledge, but I see the vision. So
Mm,
absolutely, to answer that question, absolutely. And there's sky's the limit. No, excuse me, beyond the sky, right?
beyond
Because
the
there's no
sky.
limit, right?
Right.
Beyond the sky. And so I wouldn't be surprised for that to happen in the
Okay.
future.
I'm excited for it. So,
Mhm.
speaking of
Me
designers,
too.
speaking of designer,
Hmm.
if you could collaborate with any designer,
Hmm.
living or deceased, who would it be, and why not? What kind of collection would you envision?
First one that comes to mind, Mr. Christian Siriano. And
Yes.
if anybody asks me, I've already asked before, and I'm sure I gave the same answer. Christian Siriano.
Okay.
Absolutely. Like today, like right now, call me. You know, I would
Listen.
absolutely love to. Absolutely love to. So I watch Project Runway like all the time from season zero. You know, I watched it and I remember his season. I remember seeing him and it was like he was so consistent. Like his vision was so precise from the beginning. If you anybody ever go watch his season when he first started, it was fire. And it's just like with any designer, there's certain things that just connects you.
Hmm.
You know, I can walk through a mall, walk through all these big name stores, little name stores, but it's that certain something that's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. You know what I'm saying? It just connects. And that's what his designs do for me. I connect with his designs. It has that bit of elegance, classiness, but then it has this edge. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's part of my personality. I got this passion, I got this edge. You understand? So it's like you get that little snazzy. So, no, but you know, I feel like his collections have that edge and that design. So what type of collection? I mean, I would do everything from streetwear. I haven't seen him do a lot of streetwear. I'm sure he may have it. I see a lot of his glam, at least on the media and outwardly.
Hmm.
He does a lot of beautiful, gorgeous gowns. You probably, you know,
Yes.
Christian Siriano, I know. So he has a gambit of glam. But I think he would rock some streetwear and things like that. And because I'm a chick that can wear a stiletto and a Nike, I wear a stiletto and a Jordan. You know, any designer that can do that does it for me. Does it for me.
Yeah, I could see that. So if you guys are just joining us, we are chatting with Sharita Ivory, our March 2025 cover model. And speaking of cover model, why don't we just throw up for the cover? For those of you who have not seen the cover yet, I'll give you a sneak peek of the cover. This is Sharita Ivory here. This photo was taken by the amazing Giovanna Reyes. If you guys have not read her article yet in Queen Size Magazine, go on over to queensizemagazine.com and read the article. Check out the interview. Shout out to Giovanna Reyes. Um, let's talk. Speaking of Giovanna, let's talk New York Fashion Week. So you've played a pivotal role in making sure plus bodies are seen on these New York Fashion runways, New York Fashion Week runways. And then we have to give another shout out to Giovanna Reyes because I know that she has also played a very pivotal role in that. Tell me about your most recent New York Fashion Week experience.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you, my most recent was Runway 7. So I have to mention that that was a great experience. Like they put the money into production, you did. So it was a great experience there. That's my most recent. But prior to that, was a production called SFW Runway.
Yes.
And the reason why I mentioned that, yes, and Giovanna Reyes, we mentioned her name. That's my girl. Like that's the homie. And because of her, is why SFW started to kind of teeter over into the plus size curvy community. So back in 2021, I want to say the late season, because we know Fashion Week has two, February and September.
Yes.
The latter season of that year, I believe it was. Giovanna hit me up. We had met each other in the DMV, and she's like, "I want you to come to New York, we're doing something, whatever, like that." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I go to New York. She's working with SFW Runway, which was an exclusive straight size streetwear fashion runway show,
Mm-hmm.
exclusively straight size. So what Giovanna did was had a conversation with the production, Naomi. She talked to her and was like, maybe you should incorporate plus da 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 da. I have someone I'm going to bring in so that you can see what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I got a quick brief. I didn't know the depths of it. I got a quick brief, like Sharita, just go in there, do your thing. Like Giovanna, she already knew she's seen me do my work and everything. And so Giovanna was like, just come in, do your thing, da da da. For 2 seasons, I was the only plus size model in the whole show.
Mm.
Okay. So we got the photos and things like that. That was 2 seasons. That next season, um, Naomi, the producer of SFW Runway, she liked it. She liked what she saw through me. So she was like, okay, I'm going to give plus size a scene in the full show, just one scene. So we rocked out a scene. Giovanna called up some plus models, called some plus models in, got us dressed, rocked out the whole scene. Okay. She loved it. That next season, she said, I'm going to give you all your own show.
Hmm.
So there was a straight size show and there was a plus size show,
Mm.
and then that scene prior to, I was walking in both. So I was walking with the straight size show as well with that scene in the plus model show. The next season, we had a whole show, which was
Nice.
awesome. And then that happened for 2 seasons after that. So not knowing again the depth of it, it was like, okay, Giovanna was like, Sharita, you're the prototype. You know what I mean? You're the one that's going. I'm like, she said, let's go. I'm like, let's go. I'm up for it. And that's what happened. It opened up doors for that particular production because we know Gwen DeVoe. We know she was holding it down full figure fashion week. Those of y'all on here, y'all already know.
Yes.
She was holding it down. And so she was like the main, that was holding down for the plus and curvy community. And so now these other shows, you might see a plus model here and there. But I had to commend SFW because they were like, okay, we're gonna give y'all your own show. And every time, guess who packed out? Our show, the plus
Yeah.
show packed out. Like people pulled up for us. They did for the straight side show as well, don't get me wrong. But for the plus show, yes, the people pulled up in support, which I think is huge. It's huge because the people who see, and this is something I'm sure we've heard time and time again, um, those who we see on the runway sometimes don't always represent who's in the audience, who's
Yeah.
watching, who the buyers are. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are. If you see my mom, she's the antithesis of me. Like she's shorter, she's beautiful cocoa color, she's slim. Still trying to figure out whose daughter I am. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But if you see my parents, you be like, and then there's her. You know what I'm saying? But those are the type of things that we need to see on the runway. And SFW did that, and she started carrying it on. So yes, if you all have walked or know people that walk for SFW, I was the one that started that plus size division.
I love it. I cannot wait to go to one of the shows. Brandy said hi. She says she's proud of you. Hey, Brandy. Big shout
Mhm.
out to Lorene who joined us. She said, I truly believe your personal style is a love letter to yourselves. You do a wonderful job, Sharita Ivory. Yes, honey. Shout out to Monique Cartwright. Monique Cartwright has, and then, I'm just gonna plug you, girl. She has a class coming up as well. Drop your date, honey, so I can mention it because I do not remember what it is. I knew what it was yesterday. I don't remember what it is today. Okay. So go ahead and drop it. I will be more than happy to plug your date for
And I
you.
had the pleasure. Can I plug too? Get it for Monique's class. So I was one of her workshop instructors for her very first workshop last year. She did her very first workshop. It was amazing. um, Models, talents, whoever's there, check it out. Like she's really doing some things down there in the A. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I had the honor along with Andrea and Jeannie Ferguson. You already know. Good luck. Hello. Y'all already know. So we were on the docket as instructors, and it was just an amazing. If y'all read the article, that's what I'm talking about. There's a questionnaire that asks, like, one of my experiences on the runway, and that's the workshop I was referring to. Teaching that and the movement and the empowerment that happened in that workshop was something so special. So y'all hit Monique up. Y'all still
Hey,
got tickets while
Monica,
she
if
can.
you in the A, hit Monica. And I saw she has Takara that's actually gonna be teaching this class. So I was like, well, come on, Monique, pull them out,
Let's
honey,
pull
pull them
up.
out.
Come on. She's a sweetheart too, Sakara. She's a
Yeah.
sweetie. She's a
We had
sweetie.
Takara on our cover years ago when she just came off of what do you call that show? What do you call the show?
Top model? When she was on top
Yes,
model?
America's Top
Top
Model.
model?
American Next Top Model. She
Yes,
remember the show.
yes.
Yeah.
She
So
killed it.
segue from Monique. So you are also you are a model coordinator and a coach. Okay.
Yeah.
So what made you go down that road? Listen, you have to have a lot of patience to be a model coordinator. Because I've done a little piece of it. And you have to have a lot of patience to be a model coach. Done a little piece of it. What made you go down that particular road? That's a lot of work.
She's like, why that? Why that?
Why that?
Um,
Why not just focus on
so,
yourself?
but see, that wouldn't that to know me is to know like that wouldn't be me to
Right,
not be able to share what I know. I'm not gonna give out everything, no, because that's not wisdom. You don't pour completely of yourself. You don't
right.
do that. You know what I mean? Um, but to be able to share what I learned, um, and I'll break them down separately. Model coordinating. Um, because of the experience that I've had. Like I was doing the math. Like I started the journey in '01. Probably
Mm,
teetering on to it was like '01 when I started like so y'all do the math. So that's my years of experience in doing this.
wow.
Um
You've been in here
yeah,
for a
and
little
so
while.
and a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. I think when I met you, Tawana, and like I was just coming back in full force. I was like teetering. I was in, but then when I met y'all, so people don't know I have that. I'm a whole veteran out here. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Hmm.
started really young. I started young, and so I have that experience. So with the model coordinating, it was like second nature. Outside of that, I've also done wedding coordinating, event planning. I've done all that stuff because I
Mm.
have a high level of organization skills
Well, all
and
right now.
execution and execution because that's what it is you have to have the order and be able to execute it.
Mm-hmm.
So having those, it was like a natural progression to go right into that. What happened, I started getting asked, like, oh, do you know any models? I'm this brand or whatever. Do you have any models? Yeah, yeah, I know some people. Let me start. It started like that. Then it was just like getting models for different productions or brands. Then it
Mm-hmm.
went to I'm doing a mini fashion show. Do you? I think you could put it together. Like that's how I think you could do this. That's how it first started. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I don't think I can, but we'll see if I can. Only way to find out is
We'll
go do
see.
it. We'll see. And then again, everything kind of correlates with each other, right? So wedding coordinating is not for the weak or the faint of heart. So talking about having patience, talking about being able to again execute those things, have things in order, run of show, you know, you have to be able to have that. Dealing with the people, which is something I love. I'm a people's person, I would say.
Yeah,
So you have to love that, and at the same time finding my space to be to myself so I can recharge and get back out to the people.
right.
That's just what it is. You have to learn that sidebar. You have to know your purpose, and I'm learning and have learned what that is. So sometimes I got to steal away and come back and pour. And so, model coordinating, natural progression, then coaching came because people were coming up to me saying, "Oh, how do I do this? How do I walk? I don't know how to walk in heels. I would like to be a model. So that's just what happened. Can you teach me? Is what I've asked. I've never really put it out there like that. I'm just now, especially in the model coordinating, backstage production, management, I'm just now verbally putting it out. Been doing it for some years now, but I'm just now putting it out there more that that is something that I can do, and it's something I love. It's just something easy to go into. It's not about telling people what to do, because there's a way to tell people what to do that can get on their nerves,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and be
Oh, yeah.
bossy.
Mm-hmm.
Bro,
Mm-hmm.
I've been a part of productions where they use the foul language and stuff, and I just remember sitting there like, this. It doesn't have to be like that, because you know what? For me, this is fun, and this
Yeah.
should always be fun for everybody involved. This is fun. This is creative. This is like an outlet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're not doing dissertations and theses and stuff. No, this
Right.
is fun. So why is that energy? So I guess in my mind, I was like, if I ever had the opportunity to do that, this is how I would want the atmosphere to be
Mm-hmm.
backstage. So
Right.
I learned that when I come, I set an atmosphere. If you gave me the charge in my hand, I'm setting the atmosphere for what it should be, because it's
Right.
creative and it's fun,
Right.
to me. So again, my easy progression over into those things, it was just natural because I had been around it, I had seen it, I've seen the order of things. Always, nothing is in perfection. I'm still learning. I'm still open to learn, and that's what I do. And I pick up things along the way. Teach the children to the adults, the men and the women. So
Nice.
love it.
So
Mhm.
before we move on to our next question, just want to read this comment from
Sure.
Lorraine. She said, "She meaning you, she."
Mhm.
Honey, you had a pronoun before there were pronouns.
I got a story for that too. We're gonna come back to
we,
that. I got a
you
story
know what? We're gonna get back today. So
for that.
she is so selfless. She cannot help but be a gift to others, encouraging and uplifting them as they chase their dreams of walking the runway or posing for beautiful images. Tell me the story about she.
Oh, she so legit like my mom. You know how you keep old pictures and memories and things like that, right? Again, as a child, I've always wrote. I would write my mom letters and stuff. Sometimes I went to bed a little early. I'm like, Mom, I need money for a trip tomorrow. And blah, blah, blah. Hey, love you, Sharita Ivory. She laughs at me to this day because to my mom, my parents, my people, I was like, Sharita Ivory. She's like, I don't know who you are, but for some reason, that's my name. I've been signing Sharita Ivory to everything. The she, I have a note that I wrote. It was something for school, right? And this was like elementary school. And it was something about my birthday. I was like, oh my, I had a party this weekend and my auntie made me a cake and they wrote my name on it and I kept the she. Like this is written in my little child right, and I kept the she. So she has always been significant. What she has grown into is not only a representation of my name, part of my name, but also she as a woman, feminine. Because I always say I write in my posts every now and then, and will continue to. I love being a woman. I'm thank God that He created me to be a woman and all that we have to deal with. And
Hmm.
then it's also an acronym for strength, healing, and evolution, which is my life. Strength, healing, and evolution. Always evolving, always changing, always growing. So,
I love
yeah,
that.
she.
We listen. What we are digging into tonight is nothing that is included in the article and the
Oh,
interview. So if y'all want more of this, make sure you go and read the article and the interview, because there's a whole lot more than just this. So we talked about model coordinating. Can you share a little bit of what goes on backstage that the audience doesn't see? I mean, because I have been backstage of some shows and I'm like, whoo, child.
So it is organized chaos. It is
Organized chaos.
organized chaos. It is organized chaos. And I say that with pride because it's just what it is. You're dealing with a number of people. You're dealing with a number of personalities. Some people get it when you say it, some people get it when you do it, when you show it to them. So you have to be able to balance all of that because showtime is at 6. And we done been here from 8 a.m. We've been here from 8 a.m., bro. And showtime is at 6. Some people are like, that won't, yo, every bit of those minutes, and I am a stickler for time, for being on time. And especially when it comes to production, listen, especially when it comes to production, I'm like, what time we start? 6 o'clock. Bet we're gonna be ready by 5:30, like completely ready. Everybody's lined up, everything by 5:30, and
Yep.
that's what happens. Like so
Yep.
if and in the event there was a reason for me personally, and again, nobody's perfect. I do operate in the spirit of excellence, so I'm a stickler for that time thing. If and in the event something happened as late, it's because something else happened.
Yeah.
And even in that, you have to be like this. Okay, this came up. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. And by the grace of God, I'm able to be like, okay, all right. So okay. So then let's try this. Okay, all right. So
Hmm.
then, oh, that's coming out. Okay, let's try it. And let's do. And you have to be like that, and not even thinking about it. Sometimes you just have to be able to react. And I'm thankful to be able to do that. If there's something I can't do, I'm not ashamed to be like, hey, that can't work. I can't do it. I'm not able to, whatever. But generally, it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna get to it. So
I, I
it's like,
I
like
have
that.
been backstage of some shows where I just be like, you know what? I'm going home because some, like you said before, some people get it. Some people you got to show them. And there are some people who don't get it and refuse to get it.
And refuse to get it.
Refuse
Because
to.
Tawana, I remember again, and I'm still a part of shows backstage. I still love coming and being a model. I will sit and be a model. Even though there's sometimes there's things I'm like, oh, we could do this better. Oh, try maybe they should try this, or maybe, but you have to be able to reel it in.
Yeah.
So not only be able to teach or instruct, but also be a student. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not only be able to run and manage a whole production, but also be able to sit there and be a model, you know? And so sometimes, you sit there and you're like, what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? I just like to be able to do those things. And you have to find a balance. You have to
Yeah.
find your peace place. Wherever your peace place is, find your
Yeah.
peace place. I
Honey,
think
go
I should
find it.
start just saying that peace place. Like, go find your peace place. Because, like you said, it's hectic, And how I learned so much, I did this backstage and listen and watch. When I got called on so much because I was where I was supposed to be when I was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I was doing what I was supposed to do at the time I was supposed to do it. And people watch. I tell that all the time when I teach workshops and teach coaching. Somebody's always watching. Like, that can't be no more true. I don't care what you're doing. Somebody's always watching, and people have watched. I've got pulled because people are like, "I've seen you. I've seen how you work. I know you can do this.
I
How
promise
what I
you.
do off the, I see how you work."
I promise you. If you see me in a room, I watch everybody. Everybody. I see almost everything because, like in the beginning you said you're an introvert. I'm very introverted. Very.
Hmm.
And if you know me, you know this. I don't like talking to people I don't know, stranger danger, and it's a bad thing because like Mimi says you got to network your ass off, right? But
Oh,
for me, I'm like stranger danger. I don't like talking to people I don't know, so I am more so like I'm sitting or I'm standing in a corner, even if I'm in the middle of a room. I'm just really just watching everybody and everything that is going on. Trust me, I've seen and heard some things, but
And that's why
we're gonna move
integrity is
on
so
from there because
important.
I'm not gonna
You know
share
why?
with y'all.
Because you know what I'm saying? I know, no, but that's what I'm saying. The sense of self is very important because somebody's always watching. How I am outside, when you see me in the rooms, that's just
Hmm.
how I am. I'm
Yeah.
silly and goofy. I can be serious. That's just how I am. So it's better to know who you are and be who you are everywhere because people are always watching.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I was hustling to get ready tonight because I had other things going. I was hustling. Had a did all of this I did in like 25 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And it's still, because my adrenaline, I'm excited. Like, this is me. I'm excited to be here. And you want that to be across the board because somebody's always watching.
And
You don't
even
know
as
who you
long
touch.
as
Your
you have
joy
been
is
doing
touching
this,
over from somebody.
you've been doing this for a long time, and as long as you've been doing this, it's and a lot of people learned tonight how long she has been doing this. Hey, John, um, you are still extremely humble now, and I've known you for years. We've worked side by side. Um, but and I'm going to share with y'all. To tell all your business just right now. So,
Okay.
when I called Sharita and we were talking about this opportunity, right? It was we got it done, and she knew it was coming. But when it came, when I tell you this girl calls me, I'm in the restaurant, she is bawling on the phone. Like this, like it was a complete surprise to her. But I say that to say it was like the appreciation. You are extremely humble, and just stay that way. I mean, she was bawling on the phone. I'm holding the
And
phone and
laughing at the same time.
I'm
Falling
look,
and
I'm
laughing.
like, I'm like this. I'm looking at Phil. I'm like,
Bro, I don't know. It just came up, and I had spoke to people, and I told Tawada, I said I should have talked to my mom after everybody. Because by the time I got to Tawada, I was like, Tawada, what we do? Like, what do I do? Can I post and do that? God, like boo hoo, but laughing in between. Don't think it, bro. Like
so
that
funny.
was my real genuine like that's how I felt. Because every opportunity is an opportunity.
Yes.
We don't know where's I didn't know it was coming.
Yeah.
Like, yo, live in the moment. I had to learn that. We have to learn as people to live in the moment.
Right.
I don't know who's watching this right now. I don't know who's reading the article that I've never met in my life. You know, I don't know, but live in that moment. So that was genuinely
Yeah.
bawling,
You
crying,
know,
laughing.
I share that because I wanted people to understand how humble you really are, and you've been doing this for a very long time. But I want to talk a little bit more about that living in the moment before I go to the next question. Um, like recently today, I saw on social media we lost another people in the fashion industry, Devon Johnson. Rest in peace to him. And it's like
Mm,
those moments, you have to learn how to live in those moments because one day all this is all going to be over for all of us. And when people ask me, people laugh at me a lot when I'm at work because they're like, oh, you're always so positive, you're always so happy. um our COO calls me Smiley, right?
ah,
Inside I could be very angry. And sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm frustrated, right?
be real.
But for me, people are like, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'm living my best life. Some people it's very cliche, but
Mm,
that's how I want to be because tomorrow I may not be here. I want to go live in my best life. I want to enjoy my moments. Take the sad moments when they come.
yeah.
You can be angry for a moment. Just don't live in those negative moments and just enjoy the good things that are happening to you. Like in that moment, enjoy it. Don't wait till tomorrow
Mm,
because
don't
tomorrow may
wait.
not come. Live in that moment. And
And it's
anyway,
a learned
so
thing. No, you're right. I know we can keep talking. Look,
Yes.
we go on, but it's a learned thing because the sad times, the angry times, the upset times. Yes, a lot of times you can see me up because my first baseline is up.
Yeah.
Do I get times where I'm like sad, tired, mad, don't feel like being bothered? Hello, humanity. Hello, humanity. You know, but the learned behavior is I learned how to deal with that moment, however you're feeling in that time, and get back to baseline because I want to be happy. It's a
Yeah.
choice. I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to be able to share happiness with somebody and they're having a bad day. I
Yes.
want to be able to, like, that's who I want to be. And because that's who I want to be, that's what will manifest in my life. And that's the spirit that I want to be able to push out to those around me. So it's a learned behavior. Yes, I went through these times, but I'm going to transition that,
Mm-hmm.
and live in this moment. No matter how I'm feeling on the inside right now, I'm gonna live in this moment. It's like
Yeah.
you said, Solomon, which is king. We hear it all the time. Here today, go on the next minute. Forget about
Yep.
tomorrow, you know? So live it.
Live it. So we've talked a lot about your life as a model, right?
Mhm.
But you've taken on many other roles, including writer and actress. And before we close this out, right? I want you to answer this, but I'm gonna go back to the writing piece for a second because I related to that. But which of the roles, the many roles in your life that you play, which one um brings you the most fulfillment and why? Like, I guess if you, the better question is, if you can pick one thing that you would do for the rest of your life, what would it be?
One,
Just one, not two,
one.
just one.
Okay. Um, it would absolutely have to be anything that I can do to use my words to encourage and empower someone.
Okay.
So if it was public speaking, motivational speaking, anything like that, absolutely. And I say that because I've been through, as we've been through different stages in our lives. And I'm a firm believer of because I got through, I can help somebody else and going to help somebody else. Because I can get through and sit to myself and be like, well, I got through. Well, you on your own. You be all
Right.
right.
Figure it out, honey.
You be all right. Figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But we could get there a little quicker if there's somebody to, be like, it's okay. Rub my back sometime. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just give me a hug, bro. Just hug me. You ever hug somebody and you're like, yo, I needed that. Because I'm an
Yeah.
embracer. I've learned I'm an embracer, just a hug. But then there's like, oh,
Yes.
I'm like, hey, friends, like somebody, you just hold them and hug them. And I think those are the things. Like if I had to, and I don't want to just pick anything just for this question, I had to put it out there because you say stuff. But just for this question's sake, it would be that to be able to
Okay.
speak to people, to motivate, heal different things in our lives because it happened for me. So I know it's possible. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
know the power of healing and what it can do for your life. So
Yes.
it would be that.
Love that. Love that. All right. So we're gonna play a little game. Okay. Um,
Okay.
I have these cards. I'm gonna ask you. There's 4 questions on the cards. You do not win anything if you get them all right, just so you know. But you
Man.
do get to walk away looking pretty smart. Okay. Um, but while I'm doing this, because I'm just going to very randomly pick a card. um I'm going to talk about this handwriting thing, right? And so one of the reasons why I've enjoyed writing all these years, right, is because
Mhm.
I'm very conceited about my handwriting. Like, I feel like nobody in
Oh,
this world writes better than me. And so I used to,
period.
yeah, I'm telling you, very much so.
Okay.
And so when I was younger, I learned to write at a very young age,
Mhm.
scripts specifically. And I love to write my name. I love to write words. And I was like, yeah, one day I'm going to write a book and I'm going to write it by hand because I want the world to know my handwriting. Just
Oh,
very,
well,
very
okay.
vain about the handwriting.
Okay.
I got a card for you.
Okay.
All right. You ready? It's 4 questions. Okay. If you
Let's
don't know, you can say I don't know. But at the very least, just take a guess. Okay. Which
okay.
element? Which element has the chemical symbol Fe?
Fahrenheit. No, I was kidding. What's the element that have FC?
Which element has the chemical symbol
Fire.
Fe? Okay.
Was that right?
Um,
Well, how do
it's
you know if it's right?
it's iron.
That's what it said.
I know.
You
I
didn't hear
heard
that?
you.
I think it
I
broke
heard.
up.
Yep. 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 So where do you find penguins? The North Pole or the South Pole?
They're in the Antarctica.
The choices were the North Pole or the South Pole.
They're in the north with Santa.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. 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 Nope. They're in the South Pole, but that's okay.
That's what.
That's okay.
Oh, it depends on if you're upside
Right.
down.
Right. There you go. There you go. So how many Olympic rings are there?
4,
There are five.
5.
Right, but you don't see that last
Oh,
one.
that other one. That other
Right.
one.
Right. Yeah. 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 Because
Yo, did you
sometimes
see? Did my light just change?
it, um
Did you see it?
yeah, because
Oh, you didn't see
it was
it?
like
I
that
ain't
was the
touching
fifth
nothing.
ring.
I
That
didn't
was the
even
fifth
touch it. And you
ring.
see my hand?
Ooh,
That was the fifth.
yes.
It was the one on the side. I forgot that one was on the side. That's right.
Yeah,
Five.
that one sometimes it fades into the background. I get it. I get it.
Facts.
So what French phrase indicates ready to wear clothing? Oh, this is just for you. Hold on. What French phrase indicates ready to wear clothing that is intended to be worn off the rack without significant alterations?
Without significant alterations.
Um,
Parlez-vous français? Oh, it's French. French fries. French toast. Paris. What's it
um,
called? What's the
it's
word?
it's
'Cause
called pret a porter. Pret
that's
a
not
porter.
fair. Did you see that? I
I'm
don't think you're pronouncing
probably
it right.
saying this wrong,
See what I'm saying?
but anyway, you win. Ding ding
Parlez-vous français?
ding.
I give
Yes,
my
that's it.
prize at the fires. Send my prize to the fires. I'm gonna pick it up November
Yes,
1st.
yes, you get a trophy. You get a trophy. Oh my God, this was so fun. Sharita, I thank you so much for joining me. Please tell everybody where they can follow you, or your social media pages. And while we are doing that, we are going to bring up this cover up again. I mean, because why not, right?
I mean, why not? Thanks, Joanna. Okay, so again, I am Sharita Ivory, and I am Sharita Ivory on Facebook as well as Instagram. On Facebook, it's just Sharita Ivory. On Instagram, it's Sharita_Ivory. So you can follow me there if you would like. If you would like to reach out to me through email, it's ivorymodel@yahoo.com. There's more. I'm excited about the tomorrows, the next week, the next month, within the next year. I'm excited about it and I'm living in the moment. So I encourage you and admonish you all to do the same thing. Live in the moment, be thankful. Gotta be thankful. Thank you, Tawana.
Yes.
Thank you, Queen Size. Yo, if you just knew, I'm not gonna talk too much because you don't know what was just about to, I felt it real quick. Okay. Don't start. Okay. Focus. Okay. But I'm so thankful. So thankful, so grateful. Thank you for this moment. Thank you all that have tuned in. Hope you were able to get something out of it and learn. But please go read the article. I really try to share a lot for those who may be aspiring to do and be in this industry, whatever way. I do acting, I do modeling and things like that. But just be encouraged, and be inspired.
You guys make sure you are following Sharita Ivory. We'll make sure that the links are dropped in the comment section for you. If you are not following Queen Size Magazine, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go ahead and follow us at all our social media platforms as Queen Size Magazine. The website is queensazmagazine.com. And if you are interested in being featured in or on the magazine, send us an email to queensazmagazine@gmail.com. I do thank you all once again for joining us. I know time is very precious, so I thank you for spending it with us. Save the date for the fires this year, November 1st. It's going to be same location, back in Jamaica, Queens again. Follow the fires as well on Instagram, the Full Figure Industry Awards, all spelled out. And our website is the fires, THEFFIAS.com. Good night, everybody, and thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.